How you going, guys? It's Outback Gaming here, and welcome to another video of Outriders. I know it's been some time now, but we're back into it, and we are here at the end game. So I've completed my stream of the Trickster all the way up to World Tier 15 and onto the Challenge tiers of the end game. Now, I showed you a build of what my early game builds are going to be, and I've worked on it so much that we are here now with full level 48 gear, and there's still some tweaking that I would like, but we're going to dive deep. We're going to rip each part apart and go from there. As you can see, I now have one of the best guns in the game, and my god, this is a brutal high damage deal for the Trickster. Very, very weak though, but absolute deadly when you're with a group. So we'll break that down, starting with the weapons. Now, the weapons I have is the Absolute Zero, one of the best assault rifles in the game at the moment. There's also quite a few other ones. There's actually a better one that I would prefer, but this is absolutely insane. So first off, the Absolute Zero rifle. It comes with crit damage, status power, and long range damage. Now, I am not 100% sure if these attributes change. I have spoken to quite a few other people that have the same weapon, and we all have the same attributes. So you can't, I don't think you can pick up another one with different attributes. If you can, chuck a like and comment down the bottom and tell me if you've got different attributes. If not, that is cool. But it comes with the ultimate freezing bullets, which is absolutely amazing. It freezes enemies left, right, and center. So I took the liberty to put Shadow Comet on, as you can see there. Shots cool down a comet, dealing another 136,170 damage to enemies within a 3.5 meter radius. That is on top of my firepower that you can see there of a base of a 104k, so 104,000 DPS, or firepower I should say. So that there is almost 250,000 DPS just with that mod attached alone. The other two is just weapon placeholders, and I'm upgrading them slowly. I probably won't upgrade them. I'll probably delete them and get the mods out of them and get a better one. But the Absolute Zero, I'm taking it to the top. I am leveling it as I go. It is an absolute amazing weapon. And especially with the Comet and the Freeze, it really does help the Trickster get around behind the enemies and shoot from behind, whereas where we are meant to be for the close range, up and close personal damage. So, minus the other weapons, of course. I'm not really using them. They're just there for keepsake if I run out of ammo. So, going on to my next build, I have started with my head, chest, and my legs getting the right god stats, the actual roll that I want when I pick up my gear. So starting with the head, I have bonus firepower, cooldown reduction, close range damage. Obviously, being a Trickster, we want that close range damage to get up nice and close and punch them through the gut. So bonus firepower, 100%, get that firepower up there. Cooldown reduction I use because of my twisted rounds. Now, why I say this is a god roll, this is actually a blue bit of gear. But as you can see, in the first slot is twisted rounds, which means it's already there. That is what I wanted. I wanted those three attributes with that mod. So the secondary mod down the bottom is what I could use. Now, I've gone with Rejuvenation because it gives me firepower, it gives me anomaly power and armor for 8 seconds whenever I get healed. So that is on top of my 104k again. So that mod comes into play when I get healed. Absolutely must have when you're in close range with a lot of enemies around. Does a absolute deadly increase to my damage. The same again, but this time I've picked the anomaly power because you kind of need to balance your fire and damage, your firepower and anomaly power. Now, I would like to have one piece of gear with anomaly power and the rest with bonus firepower, but at the moment I think my gloves have the anomaly power, but we'll get to there in a minute. But exactly the same thing. I have the twisted rounds, I have the close range damage, the cooldown reduction, and one of the other two, which is anomaly or bonus fire, which is really good because the secondary mod I can go ahead and change. The same goes for my legs. I have the twisted rounds again. I don't really want the weapon leech, but it is there to help me heal, so it is okay. This one isn't absolutely a god roll because it has the long range damage there. I would prefer it to be the cooldown reduction, but I'm happy with the long range for now. But if I can get one that has cooldown reduction, I would most certainly definitely take it. I've also whacked on the assault rifle damage there by an extra 10% because I'm using assault rifles majority of the time, so that it gives me that real big boost in DPS, which is what I need. Now the gloves, you've already seen these before in the past on my other build that I showed, the other build video. I haven't really changed it, I'm just really using it for the cooldown reduction at the moment. Yes, it does have the extra anomaly power there, which I would prefer not to have two pieces of gear with anomaly power. I'd prefer to have another one with bonus firepower, but what can you do? Skill life leech. Trickster doesn't really use a lot of skills to get heals. He kills by up nice and close, so skill life leech I would never use. But definitely, if I could get anomaly power, cooldown reduction, and close damage, this personal space close range damage would go on top, which would be 15%, 25% for that one bit of gear, which is absolutely amazing. But with that 15%, I believe if you go up here, the close range damage is only 10%, which is not, it's meh. So with that mod there, it'll be like 25% on that bit of gear. And the boots, again, close range damage, long range damage, and bonus firepower. Again, I don't really need the long range damage. I'd rather have the cooldown reduction, but that's alright. But I'm still working on the gloves and the boots to try and get them just like I've got these. That way I don't have to change the top build. Now, you probably noticed I have changed. I am starting to go into a build where I don't have all of the twisted rounds available. Now, the weapon leech is not too bad a one, but I'd probably prefer something else. I have taken off, I believe, yes, I have. I don't have the armor-piercing one anymore, or twisted rounds for some reason. But we will get to that. But apparently, the armor-piercing or the resistance-piercing or whatever it is, we don't use it as twisted rounds because it kind of phases through, so I'm just using the critical damage. I'm not 100% sure what the other mod is. I haven't used it for a while. But as you can see, rolling increases my firepower. Now, I roll quite a lot, so that's another 20k for the first shot. For this first shot after a roll, I get that extra 20k damage right there. Now, why have I gone with the borrowed time? As my borrowed time is activated, I get another 26,671 firepower added while the skill is active. Now, here's the kicker. We will go to my skills and show you what I'm using. So I'm using Twisted Rounds, I'm using Temporal Blade, and I'm using the borrowed time. The Temporal Blade, yes, it is there for AoE, but sometimes I just use it when I'm not even near enemies at all, and I'll get to that soon. Alright, so these are my builds. I will go that one, and then I'll go this one straight away, and then I'll use this just before I start hitting enemies. If the enemies is like close, I'll get up nice and close, use it, then I'll start killing. Otherwise, I'll just use all three and then go in and start killing. So the skills. We're going to go through my new skill tree. Compared to my other one, this is my skill tree 2.0 for end game, okay? So I have taken nearly every single thing on the skill tree apart from the cooldown reduction of deception skills and of a shotgun, because I ain't using the shotgun. And I have changed, instead of coming down to the Assault Master, which I used to be at, I've done the reload time so I can reload a lot quicker. I have taken the movement activation. So activating this skill increases my weapon damage by 50% for 8 seconds. And as you can see there, borrowed time is a movement skill. So not only do I have the mod giving me an extra 26,000, I also have this 50% of my overall firepower added for 8 seconds while this is available. So I am doing a hell of a lot of damage, but when this move is finished, I don't know what I'm going to do. Like up here, I think I get another mod. This is deception skills, but I don't care about that. That is why I'm using Temporal Blade. When this skill ends, I increase by another 50% for 8 seconds. So for roughly about 6 seconds, I have an extra 100% overall firepower coming to my overall DPS with my character. And we'll have a look at that in a minute. So first off, I have gone Arms Trick, the Bellstorm, the Ace of Trumps, the increased weapons damage, the increased close range damage by 15%, the increased critical damage, the equilibrium that gives you the movement cooldown, so I can use my movements a lot faster, the arms trick again, obviously, down here to Outrider Executioner, back to Ace of Trumps. I don't have those skills, so there's no point. Armor piercing doesn't happen to matter when you're using your twisted rounds, but when you're not using twisted rounds, it's good to have it. Unforeseen end when attacking enemies from behind. I get more increase again on my DPS, and I've taken all the bullets here for arms trick, death probability, and death probability again, with the unforeseen for another 20% for behind enemies, and then bounty hunter, and then I have increased mag size for 50%, and then increased damage for 12, and then finally I have a close range damage for every enemy within within my close range for 8%. So if there's 10, that would be 80%. So does this build work? And I'm telling you, it does. Every single C10, C11 I have done, I am roughly around about 50 to 60 million DPS by the end of the expedition, which is absolutely devastatingly amazing. So we'll have a look at some quick stats. I'm just going to go ahead and bring up a website that I will very shortly. Probably should have had this set up ready to go. But this website that I am definitely going to show you right now. Let me go ahead and capture the window. Alrighty, so here is the said window that I am now using. So we've got F11 on that. Alright, so it doesn't matter. But anyways, we're going to go ahead and put in Trickster. We're going to go ahead and go weapon damage. So we'll just go ahead and click all the ones that I'm using for my skills. And I'll show you what we have down the bottom. Alright, so down here has a whole bunch of your stats. Now what we need to do is find out what my weapon is actually doing in terms of just in terms of gearing. So if I put this out to the side here, we have a look at my weapon that I have just here. Where is it? Let's go stat. No, there it is. So I'll just bring up the details of my weapon. Just behind here. Right. So we have on the stats of the weapon, we're just going to go down here and put it in. So clip size. That's fine what the clip size is. The clip size is 40.